Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Music Mondays podcast. I'm your host, Sam Slays. Welcome on in, my friends. Happy Monday. This is episode 224 of the Music Mondays podcast, and I'm your host, Sam Slays. Welcome on in, my friends. Happy Monday, like I said. Man, this is our first episode of May. May is underway. The year is kind of flying by, man. I like say it at the start of every show, but I swear the year is just going by like super fucking fast, man. And it's a pleasure. I mean, we're getting some work done. We're definitely getting some work done. So, let's get into it, my friends. Let's get into it. So, a couple things to go through today. We're gonna talk about weekly recap jazz, what's coming on Music Mondays. We're gonna do some community feedback per usual. I have some topics that I want to discuss like next week into the next couple months, and then we're gonna get into some community reactions and reviews. You guys know the drill. So, per usual. Let's kick it off with the weekly recaps. So, what did you miss at Music Mondays over the course of the last week or so? Let's get into it. Let's talk about it, my friends. I'm down. So, per usual, Music Mondays basic logo t-shirts are available and in stock right now as we speak. we still have some smalls, mediums, and larges available. So if that's something that interests you, definitely contact us and send us a DM, send us an email, send us a message. Again, United States only, and $20 flat shipping. So per usual. Again, if that's something you're interested in, send us a message, send us a DM, send us an email. Per usual, following the live show every single Tuesday, the full high quality version of the Music Mondays podcast is available on the Music Mondays Patreon every single Tuesday. So again, if you missed the live show, or if you want to go record the live show, you want to go download the live show, you want to go do anything with the live show, that is available on the Music Mondays Patreon every single Tuesday. That's just for the people that again want access to the high quality download and things like that. So if that's something that interests you, definitely go check out the Music Mondays Patreon. Outside of that, let's see here. Heading into Wednesday, SoundCloud Sunday submissions open every single Wednesday. So again, make sure you follow us on social media, stay up to date with all the Music Mondays updates and all of our latest announcements and whatnot. But again, keep your eyes peeled for SoundCloud Sunday submissions because those do open every single Wednesday. So again, like I said, follow us on Twitter, follow us on socials. Stay up to date with when all of our playlists and all of our podcasts and all of that good jazz goes live. And then following Wednesday, we also do some Music Mondays podcast audio promo. So again, Wednesday is pretty stacked. Make sure you keep your eyes peeled for that every single Wednesday. Let's see here. And then actually, in addition to Wednesday, we had the Music Mondays Radar Check number 11 go live. It's been a while since we've done a Music Mondays Radar Check, and this one actually did some numbers. So huge shout out to anybody that did tag somebody on the Music Mondays Radar Check. But for those of you that don't know, the Music Mondays Radar Check is a monthly segment where we kind of ask the community to tag a creative that they like to see written about on the Music Mondays homepage. If you'd like to see them featured on the Music Mondays homepage in an interview, in a review, maybe a short article, anything like that, the Music Mondays Radar Check is the post for you. So again, definitely go check that out on all of our socials. And make sure you go show that some love. But Music Mondays Radar Check number 11 is available right now. That was Wednesday. Again, pretty stacked Wednesday, which was dope. Heading into Thursday, episode 223 of the Music Mondays podcast is available on all audio platforms. That's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and all that good jazz that is available right now. So again, make sure you go check that out. Go show out some love. And a huge shout out to everybody that did submit episode 223. And again, huge shout out to everybody that came through and showed love. Episode 223. You guys are amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, let's see here. Continuing on Thursday, per usual, a brand new YouTube upload is available right now on the Music Mondays YouTube channel. That is the 2025 summer preview, where I kind of break down what's to come in the summer months on Music Mondays and things like that. So again, if you missed that segment last week, that is available on the Music Mondays YouTube channel right now. So definitely go check that out and go show that love. Excellent. That was Thursday. Pretty stacked Thursday, heading into Friday. A brand new article by the homie Blank Thought dropped where they did a review of what's been inspiring them lately. So again, a W Friday article by the homie Blank Thought, and very well written as well. So huge shout out to homie Blank, man. That was a great piece. So again, definitely go check out that wonderful piece by Blank Thought and the rest of the recent written pieces on the Music Mondays website. Lots of bangers been dropped recently in 2025, man, for sure. Alrighty, my friends. Let's see here. So, that was Friday. Heading into Saturday, episode 223 of the Music Mondays podcast is available on the Music Mondays YouTube channel right now. So definitely go check that out. Go show that some love. And that does drop on the Music Mondays YouTube channel every single Saturday. So again, that's for the people that do prefer the Music Mondays podcast to be viewed on YouTube, and maybe you like the YouTube version a little bit better. Maybe you want to throw it on in the background while you're cleaning the house, or maybe you just throw it on YouTube, you're driving a car or anything like that. So definitely go check that out and go show out some love. And again, that does drop every single Saturday. And again, huge shout out to everybody that's been tuned in to episode 223, man. Episode 223 is a fucking banger for sure. So much love, my friends. All right. Let's hear. So that was Saturday heading into Sunday. Actually, SoundCloud Sunday volume 185 is available right now on the Music Mondays SoundCloud. That was curated by me, covered by me. Huge shout out to everybody that did submit to SoundCloud Sunday. And again, submissions do open every single Wednesday for SoundCloud Sunday, and they don't close until the playlist drops. So again, feel free to submit all week to SoundCloud Sunday. But again, volume 185 is available right now on the Music Monday SoundCloud. So definitely go check that out. Go show that some love. And again, huge shout out to everybody that submitted, showed love, and tuned in to SoundCloud Sunday. And huge shout out to everybody that even supports SoundCloud Sunday, man. And if you're an artist, definitely share the playlist with your friends, right? Everybody's always asking for new underground music, new underground artists, and things like that. SoundCloud Sunday is definitely the playlist you want to be showing them. So again, make sure you share it with your friends. Share it with anybody you might think be in need of new music or anything like that. But again, huge shout out to everybody that submitted to and tuned into volume 185 of SoundCloud Sunday, man. You guys are fucking wonderful. So it's pretty crazy, actually. Only 15 more volumes until number 200, man. Number fucking 200 is crazy. But yes, SoundCloud Sunday, per usual, is every single Sunday. So again, heading into Monday, that was your weekly recap. That's pretty much everything major that you missed on Music Mondays over the last week or so. And again, make sure you follow us on socials to stay up to date with everything that Music Mondays does have going on over here on our platform. So, alrighty, my friends, let's see here. Alright, what's coming on Music Mondays over the course of the next week or so? It's definitely very important. So, like I said, over the last few weeks, I've been discussing with the Music Monday staff our next event, and it's taken some very particular and specific planning, to be completely honest with you. So, again, once I kind of have a better view and scope and a lot more details to bring you, that's when I'll kind of start teasing the announcement and kind of start teasing the idea. But this one's definitely going to take some more planning. So again, we're trying to have this summer event at least done by like June, July-ish. But that's pretty much the big thing that's been happening at Music Mondays in the background when it comes to a lot of our bigger stuff. And then we have a lot of small stuff planned when it comes down to a lot of new content pieces that we had here and things like that. So just want to make sure that we tighten up our content and make sure that we head into summer with a pretty strong rollout. You know what I mean? So that's something that I kind of want to focus on here. And the main thing is our next event and our next few events, actually. So a couple things coming up and a couple things I want to organize when it comes down to the bigger things. But again, per usual, a lot of your monthly and weekly content will stay the same. The Music Mondays podcast, all of our playlists, SoundCloud Sunday, all of our YouTube uploads, the podcast, like I said, weekly articles, things like that. All that's still staying the same, but we're just in the middle of planning our next event. So that's one thing that's definitely going to be taking up at least a little bit of our time, right? Then, of course, we have one more Music Mondays merch post that we're going to get out. Like I said, kind of like a lookbook style of everybody that kind of rocked Music Mondays merch and went out of the way to actually purchase Music Mondays merch, right? So that's going to be something that we kind of get out over the course of the next couple weeks. And then outside of that, the Music Mondays Patreon is fully updated, which is great. So that was a major thing that we had to actually go through, man. That shit was crazy. But outside of that, we're gonna be focused on recruiting, SoundCloud exclusives, and things like that as well. So trying to tighten up the ship and make sure that we make Music Mondays stay pretty consistent, but also kind of introduce a lot of the new things at the right times, right? So again, big events that we're planning is the huge deal here. So we're gonna be focusing on that over the course of the next couple of weeks for sure. But that's pretty much anything major that's going to be happening at Music Mondays over the course of the next couple of weeks. And again, make sure you follow us on social media, stay up to date with any emergency announcements or anything like that. And of course, you'll be the first people to know here on the Music Mondays podcast when everything goes down. So, that's pretty much what's coming over the course of the next couple of weeks or so. Let's talk recruiting. So, important. Music Mondays is recruiting. Per usual, we are on the hunt for all of our Music Mondays staff roles. So we are on the hunt for writers, journalists, curators, designers. If you want to do short form media, you want to do long form media or anything like that, definitely send us a message, send us a DM, send us an email. Again, resume preferred, but definitely not required. If you're kind of a new creative that wants to get their feet wet and kind of learn what independent and media is like, definitely, again, send us a message. We'll be happy to show you the ropes, kind of teach you some tips and tricks and things like that. But again, Music Mondays is recruiting, and that's definitely something that we will be pretty heavily focusing on over the course of the summer. So again, just keep that in mind. And again, send us a message, send us a DM, send us an email if you're interested in joining the Music Mondays staff team. You We got Ghost in the chat. What's good, Ghost? Hope you're well. What's cracking on me? Happy Monday. Alrighty, my friends. So we spoke recruiting. Let's talk SoundCloud exclusives. Yes. So again, if you have an unreleased SoundCloud track that you'd like to have hosted and promoted on the Music Monday SoundCloud and across all of our social media for completely free, definitely send us a message, send us a DM, send us an email. Again, we're only interested in unreleased material, so feel free to do whatever you want with the track afterwards. You want to go and kind of put it on all distros, you want to go do a music video or anything like that, that works as well. But again, we're only interested in unreleased material. So again, send us a message if you're interested in a Music Mondays SoundCloud exclusive. And of course, that not only shows love to our supporters over there on SoundCloud, but again, that's just another way for us to kind of show some love to some artists when it comes to actively promoting them, right? So everybody kind of eats when it comes to a collaboration like that. But again, send us a message, send us a DM if you're interested in a SoundCloud exclusive. And again, same goes for YouTube. If you have an unreleased YouTube visual, music video, AMV, even if you just want some audio hosted on the Music Mondays YouTube channel, definitely send us a message, send us a DM, send us an email, and again, for completely free. And of course, hosted on our channel of over 300 subscribers, and of course, promoted across all of our social media, again, for completely free. So again, we're only interested in unreleased material, but again, send us a message, send us a DM, send us an email if you're interested in any sort of exclusive hosting or anything like that, and we'll be definitely happy to have that conversation with you, for sure. For sure. So, let's see here. I think that's pretty much everything major. One last thing we got to do here, actually, is some community feedback, my friends. Not much, been busy, though, with a bunch of stuff. I hear you, my friend. I definitely hear you. Good to stay busy, though. Definitely good to stay busy, for sure. I hear you. Let's see here. Yeah, so the last thing I want to discuss is community feedback. So this will be community feedback number 22. That means new month, my friends. And for those of you that don't know, every month here on the Music Mondays podcast, we do host community feedback, where we kind of upload a short snippet on the Music Mondays YouTube channel and allow the community to kind of speak their minds on what they want to see when it comes to the Music Mondays podcast and Music Mondays in general, right? You want to see somebody interviewed, you want to see us discuss certain topics, you want to see us get a certain guest, you want us to create a certain guide, you know, maybe you want a how-to guide, maybe you want us to kind of go over playlists, you want to go over distribution, you want to go over how to avoid bots, you want to go over collaborations. You know, there's a lot of topics that we've already discussed here on the show, but again, we always want to hear from the community and what they want to see when it comes to Music Mondays, because again, like I said, we've always had a very consistent schedule. I have a couple things that I want to discuss over the course of the next couple of weeks. Again, I think next week we're going to discuss like hobbies outside of creating and things like that. So there's a few segments that I really want to kind of dive into, but again, we always want to give the community a kind of chance to voice their opinions and, you know, really kind of voice what they want to see when it comes to Music Mondays, and not only just the podcast, but, you know, the Music Mondays website and the Music Mondays platform as a whole, right? So super important. So we do those segments monthly here on the Music Mondays podcast. So this should be, I think, community feedback number 22. But again, just as a reference, definitely go check out the Music Mondays YouTube channel. We have playlists for all of our tips and tricks, all of our exclusive segments and things like that. So if you're interested in anything that we've covered before, definitely go check that out. But again, make sure you send us a tweet, send us a DM, drop a comment or anything like that, and let us know what you'd like to see on Music Mondays and the Music Mondays podcast. And of course, this will be uploaded on the Music Mondays YouTube channel. So again, make sure you subscribe. We upload 2 times per week. I think we're only like 4 subs away from 310. We upload every Thursday, every Saturday, full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good jazz over there on the channel. Make sure you go show these artists and the channel some love, my friends. Thank you. Let's get it, baby. All right, let's do this. Community feedback's good. We did recap jazz. We did what's coming on Music Mondays over the course of the next week or so. We talked exclusives. We talked recruiting. Let's dive into some reactions and reviews and submissions, my friends. Let's talk about it. So, let's jump over to Twitter and see what we have. I am down for the cause, my friend. All right, let's switch tabs here and see what we got. So, per usual, as many of you know, tweets are always in the same format and they always read every week. Artists and creative submissions are open for live reviews on Music Mondays. live on May 5th, 2025 at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, twitch.tv/SongPlays, which is here and now. And per usual, like I said, tweets are always in the same formats. So again, make sure you're kind of submitting for a show that hasn't happened yet, and make sure you kind of keep your eyes peeled for new submission tweets and things like that. So again, make sure you follow us on socials. But again, tweets are always in the same format. They'll always read like this. The only thing that changes is the date. So again, make sure you're submitting for a show that has not happened yet. Outside of that, if you'd like to submit your music, artwork, fashion, or digital creations, drop your links and portfolios below. All art forms are welcome. So again, contrary to our name, Music Mondays, we've reacted to pretty much everything here on the show. Obviously, from music to instrumentals to vocals to remixes to music videos, YouTube edits, photography, merchandise, videography, AMVs, vlogs, unreleased material, you name it. We've pretty much reacted to everything here on the show. Because again, a lot of underground creatives are multi-talented creatives, right? A lot of producers also do vocals, a lot of vocalists also engineer, a lot of engineers also do art, and vice versa, right? So we kind of wanted to give everybody a fair shake when it came down to the Music Mondays podcast. So again, if you feel like you deserve some spotlight and want to showcase yourself here on the show, definitely feel free to drop your links and portfolios below. Outside of that, again, we do have a 3-hour show limit just to make the show a little bit more palatable to watch back for anybody that does miss the show or kind of wants to watch the show in its entirety. Again, one could argue that a 3-hour show is a little bit long to watch back, right? But compared to our kind of earlier shows where, we've pushed upwards of like 5, 6, 7 hours, this is definitely a little bit more swallowable for sure. So again, just keep that in mind. We do have a 3-hour show limit. And of course, we are one of the only weekly live shows here on Twitch every single Monday. So again, it definitely takes the pressure off the Music Monday staff team when it comes to bringing you a live show every single week here on Twitch. So, outside of that, submissions are free. They always have been free. They always will be free. But the only thing that we do ask is that you're following Music Mondays on Twitter before you do submit, because that not only helps spread our message and show Music Monday support, but again, you pay respect to everybody else that does submit and wait for their submissions to be reacted to every single week here on the show. So again, super important. But outside of that, one other thing that we do got to mention is that Patreon subscriber submissions are played first every single week here on the show. So again, if you're subscribed to the Music Mondays Patreon at any tier, you gain access to a whole bunch of goodies over there on the Music Mondays Patreon. But one of the main goodies is the Music Mondays Fast Pass, which again, for the duration that you're pledged to the Music Mondays Patreon, allows for all of your submissions to be played first here on the show before everybody else's. Again, which during the live show, it gives you advantage because obviously you're one of the first submissions and at the height of viewership. And of course, when people go and watch the show back, once again, you're one of the first submissions that does actually get played. And of course, it guarantees your submission to be played every single week here on the show. Because again, sometimes we get upwards of 30 submissions, maybe sometimes 40. I think the most we've ever had is like 60. So obviously we can't get through all those submissions during certain shows. So again, that's another way to guarantee that your submission does get played here on the show and uploaded on the Music Mondays podcast. So, outside of that, once again, huge shout out to all of our Music Mondays patrons, though. And again, if you're interested in the Music Mondays Fast Pass or anything like that, definitely go check out the Music Mondays Patreon. And of course, the very last thing that we do have to mention is that submissions do close about a couple hours before the show starts. So again, a good rule of thumb is that the show is live. Submissions are definitely closed. Again, we are a live show, so we like to keep things a little bit free flow, right? So we definitely don't want the submission order kind of getting all wonky or anything like that. Again, you do have about 6 or so days to get your submission, so obviously plenty of time. But again, it's just a way to keep submissions orderly and make sure that nobody's submissions kind of gets bumped down or anything like that. So you have about like 6 or so days to get your submissions in. But like I said, a good rule of thumb is that if the show is live, submissions are closed. And of course, submissions always open every single Tuesday following the live show. So again, if you're watching this here, live submissions open for episode 225 tomorrow, May 6th. And if you're watching this anywhere else, submissions are definitely already open, so make sure you go submit for episode 225. Right. So outside of that, if you'd like any more detail on the Music Mondays podcast, we do have a how to submit to the Music Mondays podcast guide on our YouTube channel right now, where I kind of break down the Music Mondays podcast in higher detail. I kind of give a background story on how this came to be, why we started the Music Mondays podcast, why we take submissions on Twitter and things like that. So again, if you're interested in a little bit more detail on the show, definitely go check out the how to submit to the Music Mondays podcast guide on our YouTube channel. So let's break it down, my friends. Let's get into it. I think we have 2 Music Mondays patrons tonight, and then we're going to dive into the rest of the community submissions. believe it's the homie Jordan first. Yep. So we got Jordan, and then we got Laverius right here, right below. Okay, I'm down. So let's get into it, man. Jordan has been on a run. Jordan has definitely been on a fucking run, especially with their recent submissions. I'd say over the last couple of weeks, their submissions have just been um some of the most unique, but some of the most surprising, but also like not surprising at the same time, right? Like Jordan's been very consistent, but their 2025 really speaks volumes in terms of their quality. And I even think they said it the other day on social media, like they're just having fun creating right now. You know what I mean? Like they're not trying to stick to one sound, and they're not trying to like um kind of stay in one sort of box or lane or anything like that. And you can really tell, and it's showing in their music, right? But like I said, Jordan's been on a run in 2025. That's for sure. That's for sure. But this week they submitted Swim slash The Good Place. I'm down. Because like I said, man, their last few submissions over the last, like, I'd say like 3 weeks to the last month have just been crazy. And this one's actually 5 minutes and 47 seconds. I am down. Holy shit. Okay. So this is off their full project Love Ball, which is a 6-track EP. And I think, okay. I think we did Can't Make This Up. I think we did Missing Piece. And I think we did Now I Know. I think there's like one or two here that we haven't done yet. And obviously Swim slash The Good Place is one of the ones that we haven't done yet. So I'm down. Let's hop into it. And again, for those of you that don't know Jordan, a multi-genre talented artist, like I said, has been on a crazy, crazy consistent run in 2025. So I'm down. Let's see what we got here. Swim slash The Good Place. Let's go. Mix is crazy. Oh shit, the switch up. About halfway as well.
Feels like this would happen every time, every time. I'm still so glad this happened just in time, just in time, just in time. I think we're in the bad place, but it's fine, now it's fine, now it's fine. No matter what I'll find you, we'll be fine, we'll be fine, we'll be fine. Every time, every time, every time. Feels like this would happen every time, every time. It feels like this would happen every time, every time. Just look like we don't have any time, any time. What if we don't have any time, any time, any time? I'm still so glad this happened just in time, just in time. I think we're in a bad place, but it's fine, now it's fine.
Damn.
No matter where I'll find you, we'll be fine, we'll be fine. Every time, we'll be fine. Every time.
Wow. Really solid outro as well. Like a really, really fucking solid outro, man. Shit. So this is a very interesting track, especially with it being like the third on the project, right? Because like I said earlier, we've reacted to I'd say like over 50% of this, right? And this being track three is very, very interesting. Especially like I don't know, like it has such a emotional mood on it. It's insane. It is actually insane, but super well done. Super, super well done. Actually, this is one of the only tracks that doesn't have Cat on it. So there's three Cat tracks, and I think we reacted to like two of them, right? Or if not three, I think we've done like two or three. But yeah, let's break it down. Let's talk about it. Much to discuss here. This is sick. Yeah, yeah, no, I agree, Ghost. I for sure agree. Totally agree. Totally agree. Um, let's talk about it. So we're gonna talk about three things here. So we're gonna talk about the instrumental or instrumentals in this case. We're gonna talk about vocals and we're gonna talk about the overall theme of this track. So let's talk instrumental, man. Varies, what's good? I hope you're well. Welcome on in. Happy Monday. Um, let's talk instrumental. So obviously we have a combined track here, right? This is one of those like 2-for-1 kind of songs where you take a couple of tracks and kind of like mesh them together, right? Especially with the transition, I feel like this one really worked out well. But I do love the kind of interesting direction that Jordan took this. I almost feel like the tracks and messages and like themes were almost opposite, but they mix so well instrumentally. So it kind of makes sense. It was almost like a side B side kind of thing. But let's talk mix. Mix is great though. Nothing super clashing, too overbearing. Nothing that I can even think of at all. I mean, Jordan's had one of the most consistent mixes here on the show for quite some time, so not really a shocker. That everything's kind of mixed to a T, but something you always want to point out for anybody new here, right? But yeah, crisp, clean, straight to the point. Like I said, nothing super clashy, too overbearing. Nothing I would really change on this at all. Like I said, so instrumental mix on both of these is absolutely great for sure, no question. Um, instrumental shining star. I mean, it's got to be the structure, right? I mean, you're insane if you don't say the structure. I mean, the melodies here on both instrumentals were great. The drums were light, but also a big factor. Sound selection on everything, like I said, was awesome. Mm, just because of the transition, right? And like the vocals on each of these is just super, super stellar. So I'm gonna have to go structure. Let's go structure on this one for sure. So instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix. We get a couple of different mixes here from the homie Jordan. So I wouldn't say that they're like super like different in mixing, but the first track is a little bit more heavy on the effects, and I think Jordan does really well with the effects because Jordan uses them sparingly, and they kind of know like when to use them and when not to use them, and what kind of tracks to use them for, right? And I would say the mix across the board for both of these tracks is really crisp. You know, again, not too loud, not too low. Levels were solid. Quality was good. Nothing that I would like again ultimately change on the vocals at all. If I'm gonna keep it like a whole buck, I definitely wouldn't change anything. Um, Again, that's not really a shocker for me because again, Jordan has had a very consistent mix. So the vocals here with the varying styles definitely crisp for sure. So vocal mix solid. Um, Vocal shining star. Hmm. Well, I mean, writing across the board was solid, but flow and cadence and delivery was also solid. Um, hmm. I mean, structure there too is pretty sick, but I kind of want to go writing. To be honest with you, you know, Jordan's writing has been like super sharp as of recently, and you can really tell that, especially with this whole project. To be honest with you, not just this track. I feel like this whole project, you can really kind of see that. So let's go writing and lyrics here for sure. So instrumental solid, definitely structure. Vocal solid, definitely the writing and lyrics. Let's talk theme, aesthetics, the Love Ball official cover. Again, over the last couple of weeks, I've really spoke about this in um like pretty good detail. But again, this is one of those covers where if you're gonna go like minimalistic and you do like the IRL, like take a photo and then like you kind of like deep fry it, or you know spruce up a couple edits on it, or you know you do a little bit of tweaking, right? But it's still got that like intimate look. That's one of those covers there for me. And again, like I said, it's one of those covers as well. The more you look at it, the more detail you kind of see, right? Especially with like the heart at the end, and you know, it's just got that like almost subliminal kind of meaning to it, you know, as to where even as like a listener, if you stumble like across a cover like this, it's one of those ones where you're like, oh shit, you know what I mean? You're kind of like, it strikes you in a different way, you know. But aesthetics definitely on point, especially for a EP. Overall theme. So a couple of tracks here, right? This is not just a one and done here. So this is one of those tracks where two songs turned into one. And I almost feel like on this one, um, each of the songs were opposite, right? Swim is almost like, you know, you gotta like keep swimming, you know, regardless if the ship is sinking or you're trapped out in the ocean, or you're just feeling like you're drowning, you know, you almost have to keep swimming. And then the good place is a little bit more positive light, you know what I mean? Kind of like thinking about the good place and, you know, quote unquote, the good times, or where you go, which is the good place, so to speak, right? So it's one of those things where I felt like instrumentally they worked out together. But then if you really break it down, it's like they're almost polar opposites, which I think really worked out anyway. You know what I mean? Because it really turns into some like A side, B side kind of thing. Um, but yeah, man, well done, my friends. Well done. Huge shout out to the homie Jordan. Thank you so much for the submission. Much love. Make sure you go follow Jordan on Spotify, man. And of course, make sure you go follow Jordan on Twitter. They are literally only 6 followers away from 400. So make sure you go show them some love in the bird out, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you have not already. We're approaching 310 subscribers. I think we're only like 4 away or so. So make sure you go show these artists on the channel some love, baby. Get it. And of course, if you already have, thank you, my friends. Much love. So, all right. Let's see here. We left off with the homie Jordan in our last Patreon, but certainly not least of the night is the homie Laverius. Now, again, Laverius has had a stellar 2025. A very consistent one, but hot off the heels of Recession Rap and Recession Proof. And Laverius, a very talented hip-hop artist, has been kind of diving into vertical lyric videos and lyric videos in general and visuals in general. And their promo for these projects has been not only very consistent, but some of the most entertaining that we've seen here on the show. No question, no question at all. But this week they came in with another vertical lyric video, and it's the one for Money Hungry, Laverius and Ghost. And Laverius' caption is a little different on this one. I'm down. I'm down. All right, let's give it a quick pause. Let's go 720. Let's go full volume. Boom. All right, so 10 hours ago, this is a fresh upload. We are the first to see this, so let's get into it. Laverius and Ghost, Money Hungry, full screen. Let's go.
Recession rap. I miss it. I need it. Their art is just not reflective of the times that we're living
Oh,
in.
it's gonna be crazy. I can already tell.
Bad little bitch, she wanna give me face, but I just need some space. Money on my mind because I love the way that bread tastes. Money make me happy, money take away my headaches. If I ain't getting paper, then it's rumble in my tummy. Dinero for my dinner, cause I'm way too money hungry. Pesos for my breakfast, and I'm eating yen for lunch. Bad bitch look like Ice Spice, but she don't want that much. She want me to take her home and show her just what I've been doing. Tell her, baby, I'm too born, this money I'm pursuing. But if you listen to me, take this dick and hold it down. When I'm king of the world, I make sure you get your crown. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, I just wrote 3 grams inside this blunt.
Oh,
I ain't
shit.
thinking straight. Bad little bitch, she wanna give me face, but I just need some space. Money on my mind because I love the way that bread tastes. Money made me happy, money take away my headaches. Yeah, the day just blend together and my pockets just getting fatter and my bitch getting way better. Yeah, yeah. You'd think I was a pastry chef the way I'm cooking up with this batter. Yeah, batter up. Yeah, I'm finna hit a home run. She give me dome, then she go home when she done. Ayy, the way she suck me up, I think that she the one. Nah, I'm lying, but she cool. I might keep around for fun, yeah. Bitch so bad she make me wanna get some more money. If she get the fuck with me, then she know she lucky. The way I'm feeling for success, you might think that I'm a junkie. I just need money, weed, and sex, then I'm chilling really comfy. I just wrote 3
Oh,
grams inside this
shit.
blunt, no, I ain't thinking straight. Bad little bitch, she wanna give me face, but I just need some space. Money on my mind because I love the way that bread tastes. Money make me happy, money take away my headaches. I ain't smoke no weed in this apartment, it's been 3 months. So I'm tryna buy me a crib so I can smoke it up.
Real.
I need racks to do that though. So I'ma wrap my ass
Real.
off in this studio. I don't really freestyle, but I'ma do that shit right now. I'ma grind every day until I get this shit down, yeah. And I'm streaming on YouTube, tryna get some more streams of revenue, ayy.
Okay. Yeah. So, all right. I love again Laverius going outside of the box here. I mean, going back to their caption, right? A little different on this one. Yeah, a little different. Not only the song bangs, right? But I feel like the almost like lunchtime vlog style, but not really vlog style visual was a great idea, right? Because I mean, to the couch, to the living room, to the fridge, back to the studio. I feel like again creative. You know what I mean? Switching it up a bit. Not too hard to film, but also looks sick when it's kind of like all put together. So I see the vision. I definitely see the vision. I like this one a lot. Let's talk about it. Let's break it down. Let's get into it. We're gonna talk about 3 things here. We're gonna talk about the instrumental. We're talking about vocals, and we're gonna talk about the vertical lyric video. So let's talk instrumental. Obviously, probably by the homie Ghost. Man, this one's tight. This one's really, really tight. The instrumental mix is super solid on this, especially the drums. Sound selection's great. The vocals sit nice. Drums cut through nicely. I mean, nothing that I would ultimately change on this one. Again, to be honest with you, my friends, like, you know, it's hard to really have a gripe with this, you know? And again, especially Ghost, not really a shocker. Literally, usually everything Ghost does send in has been mixed to a T, for sure. Sharp, clean, crisp, clear. Definitely no gripes from me. So instrumental mix solid. Instrumental Shining Star though. You know, the melodies are up there, right? But I feel like the drums got to be a part of the conversation. I like the structure as well. But the sound selection on the drums is just very, very accurate, if you will. Everything kind of just kind of like complements each other. Uh, let's go drums on this one for sure. But I mean, you can make an argument for the melodies, but let's go drums. So instrumental solid, definitely drums. Let's talk vocals, vocal mix. Solid. I mean, especially for that like Laveri sound, right? Um, levels are solid, not too loud, not too low. And again, drums cut through nicely. Vocals sit nice on the instrumental. Yeah, I mean, these whole like last two projects and last two meaning the deluxe and the regular version of Recession Rap, the mix has been really solid. You know what I mean? And again, that's quality wise. Nothing like super super clashy, too overbearing. Nothing I would like ultimately change on this at all. You know, especially again for the Laveri's kind of specific sound and what they want to sound like on the track. Um, definitely no grabs with the vocals. Definitely not. Um, hmm. Vocal shining star. Hmm. You know, there's a lot to talk about here, right? Because the writing is sick. I like the hook a lot. I feel like the flow and cadence and delivery, especially in like the later half of the track, is super sharp. Um, man, yeah, there's a couple things that you could really debate here for that. Again, even the hook is up there for this one. I feel like the hook anybody could get behind. Hmm. Let's go writing and lyrics. Let's go writing and lyrics. Because, I mean, the hook is there, but writing across the board for the whole track is solid. So let's go writing and lyrics for sure. So instrumental solid, definitely drums, vocal solid, writing and lyrics. Let's talk about the vertical lyric video. So the thing with this, like I said off the rip, right, is I like the almost like daytime video vibe of this. You know, because again, going from the couch, going to the living room, and then going to the fridge, and then like spending like an extended period like at the fridge, I think is sick too. And then kind of ending it off in the studio. Man, I like the idea of it. It's almost like a day in the life, but not really. You know what I mean? It almost kind of has that relaxed home, like day off kind of vibe, skip school kind of vibe. You know what I mean? It definitely has that for me. And again, Laverius is coming up with like consistent ways to like reinvent this vertical lyric video kind of idea here, which I think is great. This one is probably in one of my like top five favorites so far. Maybe like top three. But this is one of the ones that I like a lot because again, simple, but it gets the job done, right? And you could film this in like an hour, edit it in maybe like another 2 to 3 hours, and then you're good to go. You know what I mean? Bang. But the thing with this one is Laverius kind of went a little bit more outside the box, added a little bit more different angles, different locations, and by locations I just mean different rooms in the crib and shit like that. But I feel like the shining star here for me was the fridge segment. I'm not gonna lie. Again, kind of like your typical like old school rap video feel, but not really because again it's Laverius, so it's a little bit more unique. You know what I mean? Especially with the money hungry track, I feel like the fridge, the fridge segment definitely did it for me, for sure. And then just like kind of ending it off in the studio, I think was a plus as well. Because the first time listener kind of like understands like not only like the money hungry kind of like grind all day kind of vibe, but they kind of like get a good understanding of Laveri's in literally less than 3 minutes. You know what I mean? So again, couch, living room, fridge, and then ending off in the studio. I mean, the whole concept is great to me. So, well done, my friend. Well done. This one was definitely a fun watch. This one was definitely a fucking fun watch. And huge shout out to Laverius. Make sure you go sub to Laverius' channel, man. They're approaching 1.1K on YouTube, so make sure you go show them some love. And huge shout out to Laverius once again. Make sure you go show them some love on Twitter. They're only 9 followers away from 140. Make sure you go show them some love in the bird at my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We are approaching 310 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week. Every Thursday, every Saturday, full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good jazz is over there on the channel. Make sure you go show these artists on the channel some love, baby. Let's get it. Man, what a hot start already, eh? Holy shit. All right. And that does take care of all of our Music Mondays patrons for the night. Huge shout out to all of our current Music Mondays patrons. Huge shout out to the homie Jordan. Huge shout out to the homie Levaris, King Mark, Ryuki, Kruker, TDG, and anybody who's previously subscribed or even just following the Music Mondays Patreon. You guys are amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We appreciate the love, my friends. So, let's see here. Let's hop into the rest of our community submissions. So now we're gonna kick it off with Lucha Libro once again, and I'm not sure what they submitted this week. Let's take a look here. All right. So, now, for those of you that don't know, Lucha Libro, a multi-genre talented artist, has submitted a Spotify track. Let's pop it over a new tab. Let's see what we got here. I'm down. Recently, their submissions have been very super like up and down, and you just don't know what to expect from Lucha. This is The Internet is Dead, and it's actually brand new from literally 3 days ago, May 2nd. Wow, I'm down, and it's a single. Okay, I love the cover too. The covers are always so creative from Lucha, man. Like, so fucking creative. Wow, wow, wow. Okay. Okay, okay, okay. I'm down. I'm interested, man. I'm wait, one more release. The internet is okay, okay. Wait. What where does that link bring you? Oh. So it okay. Interesting. Spotify UI is crazy, man. But let's get into it. You never know what you're gonna get with Lucha, man. Lucha Libre, the internet is dead. Let's go. Hmm. The instrumental did feel very dystopian, I will say that. It definitely felt very like world ending. You know what I mean? It definitely had that weird, like almost eerie kind of vibe. Wow, interesting. Again, like I said, you never know what you're gonna get from the homie Lucha, man. You never really know what you're gonna get. So, let's break it down. Let's talk about it. So we're gonna talk about three things here. We're gonna talk about the instrumental, we're talking about vocals, and we're talking about the overall theme of The Internet is Dead. So, let's talk instrumental. Again, the instrumental really creates a very interesting mood here. I will say a very very interesting mood, man. Again, it does feel dystopian, eerie, kind of like world ending almost. I want to say it has like the climax of like the end of like a real crazy movie or something. You know what I mean? Something to do with like corruption or like again like protests or like again like I said like the world ending or something like that. But hmm, wow, what a like environment and like feeling the instrumental mix truly. So instrumental mix. With that said, a very interesting kind of approach with the mix in general for this track, but the instrumental itself wasn't too bad at all. Drums were solid, sound selection was good. Like I said, the mood here was pretty crazy. If I do say so myself. So I'd say the mood is like a big thing here with the melody. And actually, I kind of want to go melody here for the Shining Star, if I'm being honest with you, just because the melody really sets the tone, if you will. So instrumental solid, especially for the kind of vision and what they're really going for here. So definitely melody. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix again, a very interesting approach to the vocal mix. You know, it's come to the point where I understand like, Lucha Libre kind of has like a preference on like what they want certain tracks to sound like, right? This one kind of has that like radio voicemail, almost like over the phone kind of vibe. So I feel like that's a very interesting point here. And again, this is one that almost is meant to kind of feel scary a little bit, but also even the quality is pretty solid as well. So I wouldn't change too much on this, but for like what Lucha really wanted to go for here, um I feel like the mix is definitely super solid for sure, definitely super solid. Um Considering like what the vision was, you know what I mean? So, very important. But vocal shining star, hmm, shit. Vocal shining star, eh? I do like the flow and cadence on this, cuz the vision or the message could be a multitude of things, especially for Lucha, right? But I kind of want to go flow and cadence and delivery again because it kind of added to the like mystique, like eerie factor of this track. So let's go flow and cadence and delivery for sure. So instrumental solid, definitely the melody, vocal solid, flow and cadence and delivery. Let's talk theme. Aesthetics, the internet is dead. I love the cover. Love this cover, especially for a single. Kind of has like the book burning in the background, the fire in the background, the kind of hangman look, and then all like the drones kind of on the computers, kind of like being drones and just being like NPCs and whatnot, right? So again, cover absolutely fantastic, and then you got Lucha like super close to the front there, and then the internet is dead in the kind of caption bubbles. So aesthetics are great, and you guys already know how I feel about the yellow cover aesthetics when it comes to Lucha Libre. Again, not really a rule or anything that like you need to do, right? But once you actually do kind of take that approach, it does end up looking pretty sick. But aesthetics definitely on point, especially for a single. Overall theme, the internet is dead. I kind of want to say that this is a more of a subliminal check for the homie Lucha, and that this one definitely means more to them in terms of like how they feel about the internet and whatnot, right? But again, if the listener kind of does get some sort of message from it, great. But if not, also great. Kind of enjoy the track for what it is, right? But like I said, huge shout out to the homie Lucha Libre. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Much love. Make sure you go follow them on Spotify, and of course, make sure you go follow Lucha Libre on Twitter. They are quite literally 9 followers away from 150. Make sure you go show them some love in the Bird, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you have not already. We're approaching 310 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, whole lot of good jazz over there on the channel. Make sure you go show these artists on the channel. Send it, baby. Get it. Yeah, man. Lucha's been on a tear. Dropped an EP recently. Back to dropping singles. Well done. Definitely well done. All right. Let's see here. So, left off with the homie Lucha Libre. Up next is the homie Ghost, aka Prod Ghost, and they came through with another unreleased instrumental. Another from the project. Actually, scratch that. It's not an instrumental. Down. So, a multi-genre producer, Ghost, has submitted a Dropbox link. So, what we're gonna do here is we're gonna pop it open a new tab, and we are gonna get into it. So, let's see here. Twitches by the homie Ghost. I am down for the cause, my friends. All right, popped open a new tab. Let's see what we got here. Let's see what Ghost has been cooking in the lab. Unreleased Twitches. Let's go.
Take off like a rocket. Know these niggas watch, so I keep my pocket rocking. Oh, all up in the front, yeah, my haters still win. I don't give a damn. We're so cold, I ain't. Two little bitches,
Wow.
twin sisters. Call them Twitches, they gon' fuck some. They gon' go bananas. I'm tryna put my stamina. I run with the blammer. Yeah, city girl, but she from Alabama. I got hella dollar signs, so she gon' buy my anthem. Yeah, real big booty bitch, she got a lamb. She doing everything she say, I think this bitch a cancer. Ever fell in love with this bitch, damn, I think that she a dancer. Yeah, niggas leeching, call my phone, no answer. 100 for the fish, we can't talk unless you get one. I got a visa, she gon' eat it all like Reese's Pieces. Take off like a rocket. Know these niggas watch, so I keep my pocket rocking. Oh, all up in the front, yeah, my haters still win. I don't give a damn. We're so cold, I ain't. Two little bitches, they twin sisters. Call them Twitches, they gon' fuck some. Yeah, they gon' go bananas. I'm tryna put my stamina. I run with the blammer. Yeah, running up these plays. I'm stuck in my ways. I got a penthouse with a lake. Shorty nigga with a K. Like, run this shit relay. Big blunts in my face. Need that shit right now, not late. I gotta get it today. Chopper on my side. Shorty telling white lies. I can't deal with that right now. She tryna take me off my grind.
Wow.
Tell her sorry, I don't give a fuck. Take off like a rocket. Know these niggas watch, so I keep my pocket rocking. Oh, all up in the front, yeah, my haters still win. I don't give a damn. We're so cold, I ain't. Two little bitches, they twin sisters. Call them Twitches, they gon' fuck some. Yeah, they gon' go bananas. I'm tryna put my stamina. I run with the blammer. Take off like a rocket. Know these niggas watch, so I keep my pocket rocking. Oh, all up in the front, yeah, my haters still win. I don't give a damn. We're so cold, I ain't. Two little bitches, they twin
Holy shit.
Call them Twitches, they gon' fuck some. Yeah, they gon' go bananas. I'm tryna put my stamina. I run with the blammer.
Mix is fucking crazy on that. My lord. Oh my. Holy shit. Great outro as well. Wow. Well done. Well done. That is fucking sick. That is a... Man, that track is damn near perfect, to be honest with you. That track is fucking perfect. My lord. All right, let's break it down. Let's talk about it. Let's get into it. You guys know the drill, man. We're going to talk about three things here. We're going to talk about the instrumental, we're going to talk about vocals, and we're going to talk about the overall theme of Twitches. So, instrumental, I mean, literally damn near perfect, to be honest with you. Like, the mix is probably one of the most impressive parts about this whole track. Like, the mix of the whole song, but even the mix of the instrumental, again, super on point. Everything that Ghost produced always has a pretty solid mix to it, you know what I mean? So it's not something that I'm super particularly shocked about. But this track is definitely very, very clean when it comes to the instrumental mix. Nothing super clashy, nothing too overbearing. Sound selection is great. Vocals sound nice. Drums definitely cut through nicely. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to have a gripe with this one, you know what I mean? But instrumental mix, very much on point. Very, very much on point. Instrumental shining star. I mean, it's got to be the drums. Like, later in the track, I was kind of thinking maybe melody, and like the structure's up there too. I like the structure a lot, but the drums here are just nuts, even down to the sound selection. But the patterns in particular on the drums are just really, really solid. So I'm gonna go drums for this one for sure. So instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals again. Vocal mix. I love the vocal mix. I just love the effects on this, and like when you find an artist that really knows how to utilize effects in the proper way, you get something like this, right? Where the effects just shine through, and it just enhances the artist even more. And it's one of those things where it's like if you know what you're doing, you can get a track to sound really fucking crazy. And this is one of those cases for me. So again, zero gripes on the vocal mix at all. Nothing super clashy, too overbearing. Levels are great, and it's a little bit more on the melodic side too. So again, levels perfect, not too high, not too low. Nothing I would ultimately change on this either. I feel like the mix across the board for this track in particular is just chef's kiss, so to speak. So vocal mix definitely up there. Vocal shining star, man. There's a couple things you could say here, man. There's definitely a couple things you could say here. I mean, the hook is catchy, right? So the hook is definitely up there. Totally liable to get like caught in your head, right? Writing in general, writing and lyrics for sure. Flow and cadence and delivery, 100%. I kind of want to go with the hook though. The hook is super catchy. The hook is definitely super fucking catchy. Let's go with the hook, but I mean, you could kind of argue any one of those to be honest with you, but I'm gonna go with the hook for sure. So, instrumental solid, definitely the drums, vocal solid, definitely the hook. Let's talk theme, aesthetics, obviously completely unreleased track, so cover art pending. Overall theme, a little bit more of like a somewhat of like a party track, but also like a get up and go kind of track. The theme is essentially like in the hook, but also at the same time, this is one where you definitely gotta appreciate the writing and lyricism for what it is for sure. And the hook is just one of those like catchy summer kind of feel good hooks. You know what I mean? So well done, my friend. Well done. Huge shout out to the Homie Ghost. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Much love. Make sure you go follow the Homie Ghost on Twitter. They are quite literally 7 followers away from 530. So make sure you go show them some love on the Bird app. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you have not already. We're approaching 310 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a whole lot of good jazz over there on the channel. So make sure you go show these artists on the channel some love, baby. Let's get it. Thanks, appreciate you. Much love, my friend. Thank you for your submission. Let's fucking get it, baby. That track was fucking crazy. Good lord. Oh my god. That track was fucking nuts. Alright. So, up next, we have... we left off the Homie Ghost, and next in line is the Homie Sin, aka Survival in Negativity, a very talented hip-hop artist, has came through with a track titled Rickets. Another collab with my bro, I'm a Fat Cop from Australia for his compilation Loose Cop. Fat Cop, Rickets featuring Sin, Prod, and mixed by the Homie Fat Cop. That is an insane fucking name. That is hilarious. I do remember Fat Cop from not too long ago, though. I definitely do remember them, for sure. But let's get into it. I'm going to pop this open a new tab. Let's see what we got. Get a little SoundCloud link here. I'm down. All right. Cover is fire. Cover is so fire. My God. Loose Cop is a collection of tracks made during nights after work. Loose tracks that aren't really cohesive or complete. General intentions of my mood I was due for a time of working is my favorite 10 from the last 5 months. Cheers for joining in and listening if you did. Artwork by the homie Fergus. Yeah, Fergus, you killed that shit. All tracks produced, mixed, and mastered. Probably wouldn't call it mastering though. By me. Yo, Fat Cop is funny, man. Alright, I'm down. Sin, Fat Cop, Rickets. Let's go.
Say less, it's stress. Fighting for the man is a test. I'm the best when I'm me. Maybe biting the star, but I have sight and seen. It's life at a brain. I'm a wrecking ball squeezed between a rock and a hard place. The right bars from the stars, though they're not that fucking hard. Still I split splits to lift the bar to parlay to where it go up embargo like ballet dopeness. Now my rapper more important than the phone and the host of the bros with the cue and the cone piece. Yeah, heading to the servo, swerve though her cones, man, my slurpo. Each next song a chance to swing better than the last dance, man. So I prance like a pony, and you don't forget me now. I'm not Joseph Kony, now I'm a subversive element. I'm shifting and I'm cloning, and so I get my R and the D to these two. See through and then they get seen through. Sleeps to me what your dreams do. Ease dude being due since I was spitting in the East room.
Steel isn't strong, boy. Flesh is strong.
Slave to the sounds I surround myself with. Weighed down by resound and doubt. This black cloud is year round with showers, so I can still manage to drown in the drought any given hour. Give me flowers, lay them in the spot that you saw me last. Took off to the lab to absorb any parts of the past to the darkened and an already daunting past. Don't get lost in the haunted thoughts of an insomniac wrapped in ambiance. Nonchalantly wander in space with the pace and the grace of a zombie
Holy
walk.
shit.
I'll get there. When I do, you will know by the sound of the bones rattling. Manifestation of finding a destiny. Having ingredients blind to the recipe won't happen again. I'll set it straight. Better braids for when the weather breaks. Set in stone, they're fragile bones, but I will never break.
Wow. My God, Sin just came in and fucking bodied that. Holy shit. A little bit on the shorter end too. Sub 2 minutes. I like that. Wow. Okay. What an interesting feature, and I like them as a duo as well. I definitely like them as a duo. Well done. Well fucking done. All right, let's talk about it. Let's break it down. Let's get into it. We're gonna talk about three things here. We're gonna talk about the instrumental, then we're gonna talk about vocals, then we're gonna talk about the overall theme of Ricketts. So, let's talk instrumental. Again, a perfect instrumental for Sin, and obviously, they both messed pretty well on this one, to be honest with you. So, let's talk mix. Actually, really solid. Nothing super clashy, too overbearing. Nothing that I would like ultimately change on this. Yeah, I feel like Fat Cop definitely did a good job. With the finals of this one for sure, especially with like vocals on it and things like that. But definitely no gripes on the instrumental mix at all. This is definitely not the first time that we've reacted to Fat Cop and Sin, but it's been a while for sure, so you never really know what you're gonna get. But the instrumental mix, definitely no gripes at all for sure. Definitely no gripes. Instrumental Shining Star. I kind of want to say melody, but the drums are up there. I like the structure too, but You know, let's go melody. Melody's just super recognizable in the playlist. You know what I mean? It's one of those tracks where if you enjoy it, again, you're gonna play like 0.2 seconds of the melody and be like, "Oh shit, I know this." You know what I mean? So I'm gonna go melody with this one, but I mean, you could kind of argue drums as well. So instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix for actually both of them is super fucking solid. To be completely honest with you, I'm big on this vocal mix for sure. So let's see here. And again, like I said, nothing super clashy to overbearing. Nothing I would like ultimately change for the vocal mix on this at all. Again, even for like an older track from Sin, super crisp, clean, straight to the point, not too loud, not too low. You know what I mean? But Sin has a really solid, natural voice. So especially for their style, definitely don't want to go too crazy with mixing. But you always find like a very solid Sin vocal mix for sure. All right. So let's see here. The vocal mix very solid. Vocal Shining Star is the next question here, my friends. Vocal Shining Star. So, I feel like writing was really solid from both of them, but I kind of want to go flow and cadence and delivery for both of them as well. To be honest with you, like the flow and cadence and delivery was fucking crazy. Especially from Sin, I was like, holy shit. Yeah, let's go flow and cadence and delivery for sure. So, let's see here. Instrumental Shining Star, definitely the melody. Vocal Shining Star, definitely the flow and cadence and delivery. Let's talk theme. I mean, the cover was one of the first things that I saw on this. To be honest with you, the cover, I was like, holy shit. So let's talk aesthetics here, especially for a full project, how to Loose Cop, right? Man, not only does like the yellow background really stick out to me, but like obviously the Fat Cop in the bottom middle, and then just like the almost like fully graffitied like whole city in the background is like super noticeable as well. Um, so overall aesthetics definitely super fucking solid. Especially for a full project. I'm definitely a big on that. 100%. Um, So aesthetics definitely on point. Let's talk theme. Ricketts. I mean, I wouldn't dive too deep into a theme for this one. This is definitely one of those tracks where they both kind of flex their writing and lyrical ability for sure. I mean, I'm sure you could kind of like dig out like some kind of subliminal theme here, but again, I would just appreciate the writing and lyrical ability from Sin and Fat Cop, man, for sure. But With that said, huge shout out to the homie Sin and Fat Cop. Much, much love. Make sure you go follow Fat Cop on SoundCloud. They are 9 followers away from 190. So make sure you go show them some love on SoundCloud. And of course, make sure you go follow Sin on Twitter. They are 4 followers away from 480. Make sure you go show them some love on the Bird app, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you have not already. We're approaching 310 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week. Every Thursday, every Saturday, full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good jazz is over there on the channel, my friends. Make sure you go show these artists on the channel some love, baby. Get it. Much, much love. If you already have, even if you just dropping likes, viewing the videos, leaving comments, anything like that, we appreciate you here at Music Mondays, my friends. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Alrighty. So, we left off with the homie Sin. Up next is the homie Braden. Now, Braden came through with this single titled Dreams, album on May 6th. Now, Braden has been on a run in 2025 as well, my friends. Super, super consistent drops. And Braden is obviously a multi-genre talented artist, so you never really know what you're going to get on the homie Braden. But like I said, this week they came through with a track titled Dreams. Let's pop it open a new tab. Let's see what we got. I am down, my friends. I love this cover, too. Kind of like the bathroom blue vibe is crazy, bro. Absolutely fucking crazy. But let's get into it. Braden Dreams, let's go.
Hoping that they give me power, and now everything that's sweet really went and turned sour. I've been sitting in a field, I've been chilling by the flowers. I don't really think we should be here. I think that we're friends, let that be clear. Please don't cry, I don't wanna wipe your tears. Please don't lie, tell me all about your fears. Baby, I've been seeing shit in my sleep, think I'm tripping out. I've been getting money, I've been working for a minute now. You was trying to walk away, you don't care if you missing out. We've been too exhausted, I don't think that we can fix it now. I've seen you in my dreams, like, what does it mean? I think it'd be really mean if you wanna go and leave. If you wanna go and leave, that's fine by me. If you wanna lie on me, don't die on me. Haven't got a wink of sleep, I've been wide awake for hours. I've been popping all these pills, hoping that they give me power. And now everything that's sweet really went and turned sour. I've been sitting in a field, I've been chilling by the flowers.
Damn. Damn. A little bit more of a melodic vibe from the homie Braden. Wow. Well done. I love the flow and cadence on that one as well. Like, I feel like Braden's flow and cadence on that was perfect. That kind of reminds me of like some of the older stuff that they used to do before they kind of started branching out to other genres and whatnot, right? But let's talk about it. Let's break it down. Let's get into it. We're gonna talk about 3 things here. We're talking about the instrumental. We're talking about vocals, and we're talking about the overall theme of Dreams. So, let's talk instrumental. First off, I love the choice. Again, it's a very like Braden like instrumental, more on the soft side, but also kind of has that like fast paced trap kind of vibe as well. So definitely pushes like a couple genres, you know, definitely blending the sounds, if you will, for sure. So, I do love the choice. Instrumental shining star, or no, instrumental mix first. And again, great. A very simple minimalist kind of instrumental as well. Nothing too crazy going on in here, but for what it is, I do like the mix a lot. Again, sometimes simple and minimalist is much better depending on like what you're going for, right? So instrumental mix, I mean, super solid. I mean, the melody's great. It's not too loud, it's not too rough, crisp, clean, clear. Nothing that I like really want to think I would change here, to be honest with you. Even like the lighter drums are solid. Some of the smaller effects are up there too. Yeah, I'm big on the instrumental mix, to be honest with you. Nothing that I would ultimately change on this, to be real. So, instrumental mix, solid. Instrumental shining star, definitely the melody. I mean, it does have that like dream, kind of like relaxed, like kind of feel to it. So I definitely want to go melody here. but you could kind of argue like some of the effects and like some of the smaller drums here are a bigger deal too. But I'm gonna go with the melody for sure because it definitely plays like a big part here. So definitely the melody. Hmm. So instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix is perfect. I think Braden's really hit a stride with like how they want their vocals to sound on certain tracks. Especially this one, I just feel like, with it being a little bit more melodic, like you could definitely tell Braden's like hit like a really good area with their vocal mix and like how crisp they sound and like how they're recording and like where their vocals are at right now. For most tracks is like super fucking solid. You know what I mean? The quality's just insane and it has this like um crispiness to it that it takes a while for an artist or any vocalist really to kind of get to that point where their mix is just like really solid across the board, like no matter like what genre or what style they want to do. So to me, vocal mix solid, and again, drums cut through nicely, vocals sit nice on the instrumental. Nothing that I would like ultimately change on this. So vocal mix solid, vocal shining star. I mean, it's gonna be hard not to say the flow and cadence and delivery. How everything was delivered was super fucking crispy. Um, writing's up there too, though. It definitely has that like dreamlike kind of writing. Um, somewhat of like a little bit of like a love ballad, but not really. Just more like lighthearted. But hmm, yeah, I kind of want to go flow and cadence and delivery. To be honest with you, Braden was fucking spitting here, definitely, definitely. So let's go flow and cadence and delivery on this. So instrumental solid, definitely the melody. Vocal solid, definitely the flow and cadence and delivery. Let's talk theme, aesthetics. I love the bathroom vibe, like I said at the start. For some reason, just the blue kind of filter on this, it works really well, and I don't know why. It's something appealing about it. Maybe it's the like the please wash your hands sign there, but regardless, I feel like again aesthetically pleasing and a W choice for a single for sure. And like I said about the Lucha Libre track earlier, I wouldn't say that you need to be consistent with your covers or anything like that, but when you are, it does end up actually looking pretty sick. And I feel like Braden does a really good job with it. You know what I mean? So aesthetics definitely on point for sure. All right. So let's talk theme. So overall theme, dreams, like I said. All right. So again, it kind of has that like dreamlike kind of wonderlust kind of feel to it. I wouldn't necessarily call it like an emotional love ballad track, but it definitely has like some elements of that, right? But I think Braden did a really good job kind of describing like the feeling of a dream and like the ethereal kind of feel of it for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe it had partly probably because of the melody, I guess I would say. But yeah, man. Definitely hitting a couple different feels here for sure with Dreams, but it definitely has that like kick back, relax kind of feel to it, mixed in with like a little bit more of like a love ballad, but kind of sorta, you know what I mean? It's like teetering in the middle, if you will. So, but well done, my friend. Huge shout out to homie Braden, much love. Make sure you go follow them on Spotify, and of course, make sure you go follow the homie Braden on Twitter. They are only 8 followers away from 10, so make sure you show them some love and a bird out, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you have not already. We are approaching 310 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good jazz over there on the channel. Make sure you show these artists on the channel some love, baby. Let's get it, my friends. Alrighty, so we left off the homie Braden. Up next is the homie Most Dope Kimon, a very talented hip hop and hip hop adjacent artist, came through with another visualizer. Now Kimon has been on a visualizer fucking rampage, bro. I always get excited for Kimon submissions, man, just because not only have they been on a tear and a very consistent tear in 2025, but this is an artist who cares about their work. They care about their art. They care about their craft, so to speak. And it's always a pleasure to see somebody in the underground like really going crazy for themselves and really like putting it all on the line and trying to do the most with what they have, right? And Kimon definitely strikes me as one of those people. So with that said, like I said, They submitted a brand new visualizer for Choppa Got Kickback. Let's see what we got here. I'm down. I'm down. All right, let's give it a quick pause. Go 720. Let's get into it, my friends. Let's go see what Kimon's been up to, man. This I think this dropped. When did this drop? 1 month ago. So it's still pretty new. Vibes A1. Love the comments here. Okay. All right, let's get into it. Most dope Kimon, Choppa Got Kickback, official visualizer. Let's go. Shit. Almost like a soul vibe here. Damn. What a comfy track. Well done. It's just like, it's such a comfy track for some reason. Well fucking done. Oh shit. Alright, man, let's talk about it. Let's break it down. Because I have a couple things to say about this one, especially the visualizer is just like super comfy. You know what I mean? Super comfy. Alright. Talk about it. Let's break it down. Well, let's get into it. We're talking about three things here. We're talking about the instrumental, we're talking about vocals, and we're talking about the official visualizer for Choppa Got Kickback. So, all right, let's talk instrumental. I love the choice. It's definitely like a bit different than Kimon's usual, right? Because they always have like the like plug and be like adjacent plug kind of style. But this one has a little bit more of like a soul trap kind of style turned into like plug style. You know what I mean? But Kimon definitely like doesn't shy away from any kind of instrumental. But this one in particular I like, you know, just because it caught me off guard a little bit. But it did have that like soul sample in the beginning and whatnot. So I feel like it was a good choice for Kimon for sure. So definitely like the choice. Instrumental mix is great though. Nothing super clashy, too overbearing. Nothing I would like ultimately change on this. I mean, the drum selection was great. Sound selection on the drums were great. Yeah, the melodies were solid. I mean, Kimon sounds great on it. Everything cuts through nicely. Nothing I would like really change on this. That's like super crazy. Yeah, no. Instrumental mix definitely solid for sure. Instrumental shining star. I almost want to say the melodies, but the samples up there too. I'm pretty big on the structure as well. I feel like the structure is pretty underrated on this. But you really could go drums though. Let's go melodies, and especially the sample, but let's go melodies for sure. So instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix, fantastic. It has that like consistent Kimon mix. You know what I mean? By now, we kind of know what to expect from Kimon when it comes to their vocals, right? Very consistent mix, super solid quality. Nothing like that I would really change on this because, like I said, drums cut through nicely, vocals sit nice on the instrumental. Nothing that's like super like off-putting or anything like that. Especially with the effects and how Kimon like uses their voice. I feel like they kind of know like how much effects and like what effects they want on their vocals, right? It's definitely to that point where they have a very consistent vocal mix, and especially for like whatever kind of style they're using, right? Um, so vocal mix definitely solid. Um, Vocal shining star. I do like the hook on this, but the flow and cadence and delivery is up there too. And it's just an overall like comfy kickback, smoke, relax kind of track for sure, especially with the visual. Um, hmm. Let's go flow and cadence and delivery, but I feel like the hook is a close second for sure. So instrumental solid, definitely the melodies. Vocal solid, definitely the flow and cadence and delivery. Let's talk about the visualizers. So, this is footage from a music video or another visualizer, which we've already kind of saw. But Kimon is kind of, doing what any smart artist does, and kind of repurposing either like B-side footage or B-roll footage or footage that wasn't used, or kind of like showing like longer versions of, maybe they only used like 30 seconds of this clip, and now Kimon made a whole visual out of it in, kind of using all the footage. I mean, that's really smart, and a lot more artists need to be doing shit like this because Kimon is really putting out like so much work because they're using their like extra footage, so they can go back and kind of make like chill visuals or kind of make something that's like this where it's not exactly a music video, but it's not exactly like nothing either. You know what I mean? So it's definitely a visual, you know what I mean? And it's one of those things where you're really making use of everything that you have, So if you need to buy some time or you want to put together something like small for, a single or something like that, this is a really great way to kind of like utilize your footage here. You know what I mean? And that's what I really love about Kimon, because when they're not shooting videos or kind of like editing new videos or putting out new videos, they're kind of putting together like smaller edits like this or behind the scenes or doing something with the footage is always a plus. You know what I mean? And I just get the hunch that Kimon really likes filming. You know what I mean? And it's so nice to see an artist that actually like cares about their visuals and like wants to put out shit like this like all the time, and mainly, like I said, kind of like use everything that they have at their disposal as much as you can, and Kimon really does that super well, man. Super well. Shining star for the visual, probably the location, just because there's like a Kimon music video in the background and Kimon's just like jamming. So it's one of those things where it's like simple, but again, it really could be a music video. You know what I mean? It does have that like one take music video vibe, almost like a freestyle music video, which is full blown like one shot, all the way through. But yeah, definitely location for sure. But well done, my friend. Well done. Huge shout out to the homie Kimon. Thank you so much for the submission. Much love. Make sure you go sub to this channel, Lovely Boy Flex, to get more Kimon visuals. And of course, make sure you go follow Kimon on Twitter. They are only 7 followers away from 20. So make sure you go show them some love on the Bird app, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you have not already. We're approaching 310 sub-roonies. And of course, we upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a lot of good jazz over there on the channel. Make sure you go show these artists on the channel some love, baby. Let's get it. Ooh, shit. Well done, Kimon. Well fucking done. Always a pleasure, man. Always a fucking pleasure. All right. So we're about halfway through the show, chat, so you guys know the drill. I need everybody to get up, go take a break, go maybe take a bathroom break, go get a smoke break, maybe go get a snack, maybe go walk the dog, maybe go cook some food, anything like that. But we're going to run a quick commercial break, and when we return, we're dive right back into the rest of our community submissions. So don't go anywhere. and gentlemen, welcome back to the Music Mondays podcast, episode 224. Hope you all had a good break. Hope you're chilling, but let's hop right back into the rest of our community submissions. So, let's see here. We left off with the homie Kimon, a double visual, or a W visual, I should say. And let's see. Up next is the homie Marco Bernice. So, a multi-genre talented artist and producer has submitted international song. Interesting. Very, very interesting. I'm down. So it looks to be just some audio here because Marco has been submitting insane visuals as well. But I'm down. Got the credits and description. Love that. All right. Let's get into it. International song, Marco Bernice. Oh, no, let's get on mediocre well. Got a classic funky feel to it. I agree.
International song, Marco Bernice and Antonio Grilli. Dance your music, mama, and sister, and daddy. Your family, the family, the family, the family. Is Marco Bernice and Antonio Grilli Association.
Wow. What a trip that was. Wow. Well done. Well done, my friends. All right. Okay. Let's break this one down here, man. Very unique per usual from the homie Marco, man. But not too many vocals here. Besides the kind of like spoken word in the middle for the hook. So we're gonna talk about two things here. We're gonna talk about the instrumental, and we're gonna talk about vocals. Or no, we're gonna talk about the instrumental, and we're gonna talk about theme for international songs. So, let's break it down, man. Instrumental. Wow. Hmm. Very interesting indeed. Um, but not as experimental as Marco usually is, right? So, it definitely has some consistency for sure. But let's talk mix. Mix is solid. Nothing super super clashy to overbearing. Nothing I would like really change on the mix, to be honest with you. Especially with a lot of the guitars, I definitely wouldn't change anything. Nothing like super clashy to overbearing. Drums are solid. Everything kind of complements each other. Nothing that I would really like again have too much of a gripe with, to be honest with you. So, instrumental mix definitely solid for where it is. Instrumental shining star. Um, hmm, Probably the melodies. I won't lie. I feel like the drums are up there, but the melodies are just like so prominent in this, especially the guitars, man. So, yeah, let's definitely go melodies, 100%. Instrumental solid. Let's talk theme, aesthetics. What a great cover for international song. Because I know Marco and friends usually work out of like Italy or adjacent countries and whatnot. So um, it's always fun to kind of use that in your aesthetics and kind of incorporate that in your music as well, right? So kind of having this like collaborative effort of Antonio and Marco and international song, I feel like they kind of really reflected it well in the cover, to be honest with you, especially with like the double guitars and then the huge cityscape and the skyline in the background. And it has this like hand drawn kind of feel to it as well. So I'm big on this aesthetic. This is actually one of my favorite Marco covers for sure, 100%. So aesthetic's definitely on point. Um, International song definitely more like a dance kind of like get loose track. Marco definitely is on that line of like almost like electronic house mixed with like some real alternative shit. You know what I mean? So when it comes to something like international song, I definitely feel like they did a good job kind of blending all that together. You know what I mean? So, well done, my friend. Well done. Huge shout out to the homie Marco. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Much, much love. Make sure you go sub to Marco's channel. Now they're only 10 subs away from 40 on their topic channel on YouTube. So make sure you go show that some love. And of course, make sure you go follow Marco on Twitter. They're approaching 1.5K on the Bird app, my friend. So make sure you go show them some love over here on Twitter. And of course, every single artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you have not already. We're approaching 310 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a lot of good chats over there on the channel. So make sure you go show these artists on the channel some love, baby. Let's get it. And of course, if you already have, thank you. We appreciate you, my friends. Much, much love. All right, so we left off with the homie Marco Pernice. Up next is the homies over at RCD Music, Rough Cut Diamonds. A very, very talented crew of artists submitted My Place by the River. And it looks to be brand new, so I'm down. Let's pop it open a new tab. I know their first submission a couple weeks ago was fucking absolutely insane, so I have no doubt that this will be just as good, for sure. But let's see. Let's see what we got here. So April 30th, literally like a week or so ago, not even. I'm down. Let's get into it. RCD, My Place by the River.
Pouring up and staying up. This is not a watch, this a player's cup. From the D, and I'm not talking bucks. Give it all I have, but that ain't good enough. Fuck it, I'm twisting up, screaming I'm Mr. Cold. Paradigm shift got me switching flows. In this booth, a nigga kinda needy. I'm painting pictures with my words, praying y'all can see it. I know I'm the best, oh yes, I am conceited. Cause when you know it, then you show it, rinse and then repeat it. And it's a vibe, put up with them, want you to ride. My place by the river, we can slide. My place by the river, we can slide.
Damn.
You know you welcome, don't wear it out.
Also,
Can you
hey,
listen to me? Don't hear me out. It don't pertain to me. I feel about it. You know you welcome. Don't wear it out.
Yeah. Keep me up all night. She a freak a little, sip a little. Gotta get that lean on right, yeah. Take a little amphetamine all night, yeah. Sip a little, gotta get that lean on right, yeah. Keep me up all night. She a freak a little, sip a little. Gotta get that lean on right, yeah. Take a little amphetamine all night, yeah. Sip a little, gotta get that lean on right, yeah. Eyes low, I'm high. Skyline looking real nice from the window by my bedside. Why lie? I might take a little more of that. Keep on pouring that, yeah. Time flies. I try to let go, trying to slow the roll, yeah. It won't go anywhere but down from here. Bound to fear, don't know how to steer, yeah. Bright eyes, I'm shaded from the sun. If I made it, then it's done. I'm the killer, I'm the gun. If it's filler, hold your tongue. I don't need that, please. How you talk down when you begging on your knees?
And it's a
yeah.
wow.
vibe. Pull up with them, want you to ride. My place by
Holy
the
shit.
river, we can slide. My place by the
Hidden
river,
track,
we
hold
can
up.
slide. You know you welcome, don't wear it out. How can you listen to me, won't hear me out? And entertaining to me, won't talk about it. You know you welcome, don't wear it out.
I said it's a vibe, I need you to slide, yeah, come on my way. Got us a bottle of 42, that's what we sippin' today. I got the Amex Rose, go sliding, don't need you to pay. And I got the ganja and the gall, ain't no papers this way. Conversations a confession, focus on what you say. Learn my lesson and set the vibe to get you ready to lay. Delta Airline, how we up and we high. Chirpin' coast, keep us cozy and fly. For you I fall, baby, hope this love never die. Cause it's a vibe, yeah, it's a vibe. Smoking up green, changing the scene, racing the past it in between. Yeah, so mean, yeah, so mean. Yeah, supreme, I mean. How could I lose it? Putting the work, she loving the movement. You know it was moving, climatic pursuance. Did my due diligence, I know she's getting hit like she mini repetent.
And it's a vibe. Pull up with them, want you to ride. My place by the river, we can slide. My place by the river, we can slide. You know you welcome, don't wear it out. How can you listen to me, won't hear me out? And entertaining to me, won't talk about it. You know you welcome, don't wear it out.
Damn, man. Damn. Wow. Wow, RCD is always such a fucking trip, bro. Like, always such a fucking trip. That is insane. Well done. Well done. My place by the river is sheesh, man. Holy shit. Alright. Let's break it down. Let's talk about it. We're gonna talk about three things here. We're gonna talk about the instrumental, we're gonna talk about vocals, and we're gonna talk about the overall theme of My Place by the River. So, let's talk instrumental. I mean, I love the instrumental here. They have such a great flavor with instrumentals. It's almost like such an alternative trap style, mixed with almost like this pop R&B flavor. It's such a unique style of instrumental that they use, and I love the choice, quite frankly. So, instrumental choice, great. Instrumental mix, again, fantastic. Because, like I said, if that first track was any indication of this one, and what the rest of their catalog is like, then it was kind of a no-brainer. I had a feeling the instrumental mix is going to be super solid. But again, sound selection is great. Everyone's vocals sound great. Levels are solid, not too high, not too low. Nothing that I would like really change on this one. It's kind of near perfect for where it's at, to be honest with you. Crisp, clean, straight to the point. So, instrumental mix definitely up there. Instrumental shining star. Man, the structure's up there. Melodies are up there. The drums are definitely up there. I mean, you could really talk about a lot of aspects of this instrumental, but let's go drums for this one, just because the patterns and the sound selection on the drums were just super crisp, man. Super fucking crisp. So, instrumental solid, definitely the drums. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix. Again, for all the verses, I thought it was super fucking solid, to be honest with you. Again, nothing super clashy, too overbearing. Nothing I would like really change on the vocals at all, to be honest with you. They all have their like unique voices and like how they like to lay down verses and whatnot. But I did think the transitions to each verse were super solid, you know. And sometimes in some of these like group or feature tracks, like that really matters. So definitely no gripes with the vocal mix at all. Again, crisp, clean, clear. Levels were good. Nothing like too clashy, too overbearing at all. So vocal mix I enjoyed for sure. Vocaltronic Star, I mean, it might be the hook. I mean, like they're so good at hooks and like the verses just like amplify the hook. Writing's great though. Flow and cadence and delivery's up there. But I think the last track, man, I'm gonna go hook again to be honest with you. But the writing's definitely up there. Writing and lyrics for sure you could make an argument for. The flow and cadence and delivery you definitely can make an argument for. But another really catchy hook that's like super unique. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna go with the hook on this one. So instrumental solid, definitely the drums. Vocal solid, definitely the hook. Let's talk theme. My Place by the River. Aesthetics, I love this one. It has this like vintage, like almost like analog Polaroid kind of feel, right? And the My Place by the River text in the top left, it just has this like blurry kind of like almost like it does have a lake house kind of feel to it. You know what I mean? Like those like not abandoned, but like those like secluded ass lake houses and shit. It totally like nailed the My Place by the River vibe for sure. So I'm big on these aesthetics, definitely. Overall theme, definitely a little bit more of like a romance kind of ballad, but not really. I feel like everybody kind of laid down their verses and like with a cabin or place by the river in mind, but they all had different perspectives, which I thought was super solid. But this is one where you definitely got to take in the writing and lyrical skill from each member for sure. But well done, my friends. Well done. Huge shout out to RCD Rough Cut Diamonds. Make sure you go follow them on Spotify, and of course, make sure you go follow them on Twitter. They are 8 followers away from 30, so make sure you go show them some love on the bird app, my friends. And of course, the are featured in today's episode, and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you have not already. We're approaching 310 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a lot of good jazz over there on the channel. Make sure you go show these artists on the channel some love. Let's get it, baby. Alright, my friends. We left off the homies RCD. Up next is the homie Adriel. Adriel is a first-time submitting artist, and they submitted an EP titled A Rapping Boy. Okay, 2025, brand new. So we're gonna go with the first track off of this project here for sure. The intro, so it's only 37 seconds. So we'll have to go with Who Dey Check, yeah, because we won't react to the intro. We'll do track number 2, which is the actual first track off of the 5-track project that they submitted. Again, we're going in blind, so we don't really know what kind of vibe and sound Adriel has. Let's get into it. First time submitting artist Adriel, Who Dey Check. Let's go.
I bounce back like over like a cocha. Bad Pele give it back to the center. Throw shade me and no go ever suffer. Check the matter, be like no wahala. Then they walk on my lane and they climb Okada. New Jagapan, if you get palava, you go for Yakata. Hardest on the mic from J-Town, I got you not like damn. Who they check, 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 who they check. You they hate on the boy, you they vex. I get go so why I got no stress. Who they check, 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 who they check. You they hate on the boy, you they vex. I get go so why I got no stress. I spit it like Machiavelli, I'm coming into your telly. These rappers already sweating, I pop it off like confetti. You better be getting ready, I'm telling you very clearly. I'm the backbone and the set piece. Time you realize, they told us the revolution will not be televised. Can't say that they lied, it's right in front of our eyes. Haters watching me from the sidelines. I'm a star, how can I not shine? Every time, now my time. Every year, now my year. Any beats, now my vibe. Bad vibes disappear. Greatest rapper from my city under the age of 35. You never realize my guy. Who they check, who they check, who they check, who they check, who they check,
okay.
Who they check. You they hate on the boy, you they vex. I get go so why I got no stress. Who they check, 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 who they check. You they hate on the boy, you they vex. I get go so why I got no stress.
Wow.
How do you feel after seeing this?
I feel very proud and hopeful about myself. I hope to do more in the future.
Well done. Well done. That was a great first time submission, to be honest with you. And definitely like a solid track two for the project, you know. Definitely one of those tracks where it definitely entices you to listen to the whole project. Well, let's talk about it. Let's break it down. Let's get into it. So we're gonna talk about three things here. We're gonna talk about the instrumental, talk about vocals, and we're gonna talk about the overall theme of Who They Check. So, let's talk instrumental. Instrumental mix. Actually very crisp. Nothing super clashy to overbearing. Sound selection was solid on it. Adriel sounds good on it. Drums cut through nicely. Nothing that I would like ultimately change on the instrumental at all, to be honest with you. Melody's nice and wide. Everything kind of complements each other. Yeah, again, no real gripes with the instrumental mix, to be honest with you. I thought it was right where it needed to be. So instrumental mix solid. Instrumental shining star. Interesting. I kind of do like the melody. It gives that like classic like 2010 like dance vibe a little bit too. I'm gonna go with melody here, but you could kind of argue structure too. But let's go with melody. So instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix definitely solid. Nothing like super crazy to note here. Again, the quality was great. Nothing that I think like needed to be changed. It wasn't too low or too loud or anything. But like the levels were solid. Like I said, drums cut through nicely. Vocals definitely sit nice on the instrumental. Yeah, again, this is one where I definitely don't have a gripe with it at all, especially for a first time submitting artist, right? The vocal mix solid. Vocal shining star. I do like the hook, right? But I think flow and cadence and delivery is probably up there for me. Yeah, let's go flow and cadence and delivery on this one for sure. I feel like Adriel did a really good job, kind of delivering all these vocals and like really just like laying it down, you know. Pretty effortless for sure. So let's go flow and cadence and delivery, 100%. The instrumental solid, definitely the melody. Vocal solid, definitely the flow and cadence and delivery. Let's talk theme, aesthetics. So official cover for Rapping Boy. I love this one because it's one of those like childhood edits that I always talk about here, where you know I feel like every artist does this at least once. You know what I mean? I think I did it way back when I first started making instrumentals. Pretty much everybody I know has done this at least once. You know, kind of take like the old like childhood photo, spruce it up a bit. You know, use it for a project. But I think Adriel did a good job kind of picking this one for sure. So I'm always a fan of these aesthetics, 100%. Always will be. So aesthetics definitely on point. Overall theme, Who They Check, definitely a little bit more like a dance, laid back, like show off your skill kind of song, rather than like something with like a subliminal, like super deep theme or anything like that. But I do think Adriel did a really good job showing off their writing and lyrical ability here, 100%. It's definitely one of those get up and like feel good tracks, like I said. So, but well done, my friend. Well done. Huge shout out to the homie Adriel. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Much love. Make sure you go follow them on Spotify. And of course, make sure you go follow them on Twitter. They are only 9 followers away from 50. So make sure you go show them some love on the bird app, my friends. Of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of YouTube re-uploaded. Of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you have not already. We're approaching 310 subscribers. So I upload 2 times per week. Every Thursday, every Saturday, full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good jazz over there on the channel. Make sure you go show these artists in the channel some love, baby. Let's get it. And if you already have, thank you. We appreciate you here at Music Mondays, my friends. Much love. All right. So we left off the homie Adriel. Much love, my friend. Up next, we got the homie Offspring Mysterious, a multi-talented artist, producer, engineer, writer, curator, designer, editor, videographer, legend. Offspring Mysterious. Let's see what they got here. So Offspring came through with a new YouTube upload, The Battle Within. I'm down. Let's pop it open, a new tab. Let's see what we got. All right. Let's go 720. Go full volume. I'm down. Let's get to it. Offspring Mysterious, The Battle Within. Let's go. They called a. That's about to go down. It's about to go. With this, yeah, I agree on Uka. I agree. No way he just destroyed him like that. He really beat his ass like that? That's nuts. Holy shit. Oh, never mind. He did not. I take that back, I lied. Uh-oh. About to get corrupted. Going through. Definitely going through it. Bro's corrupted. Oh no. Well, that's not gonna be. Holy shit. Well done. Well done, my friend. Um, you know, Offspring's like concepts in writing and like how they're kind of like leaving off each upload on like a cliffhanger is like super super fucking solid because now I want to see where this is gonna go. You know what I mean? Now I want to see where this is gonna go. Um, Shining Star here. I'm kind of torn between um the stop motion here or the story. Because the story ending on a cliffhanger is definitely a W, you know. So that way next week, I'm kind of intrigued on how it's gonna end up here. But I will say the green sky with the stop motion really really did it justice, for sure. Yeah, let's go with the stop motion. But again, the story I feel like is a close second for sure. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. All right. Well done, my friend. Well done, Offspring. With that said, huge shout out to Offspring or Series. Thank you so much for the submissions. Much, much love. Make sure you go follow Offspring and subscribe to their YouTube channel. They are only 4 subs away from 240. And of course, make sure you go follow Offspring Series on Twitter. They're only 10 followers away from 820. So make sure you go show them some love on the Bird app, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you have not already. We're approaching 310 subroonies. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good jazz is over there on the channel. So make sure you go show these artists on the channel some love. Let's get it. Alrighty, my friends. Up next would be the homie Jordan, but we've already reacted to Jordan earlier in the Music Mondays podcast, episode 224. So make sure you go watch the beginning of the show and go show Jordan some love, because they are Music Mondays Patreon. And actually following Jordan would be the homie Laveries, but we've also reacted to Laveries earlier in the show as well, because they are a Music Mondays Patreon. So definitely go check out the beginning of episode 224 and go show Laveries and go show Jordan some love. Let's get it. All right. So up next is the homie Onwuka. Now Onwuka, a very talented hip hop artist, came through with another throwback track here today. Let's do another throwback with Back of the Whip from the Grand Chieftain. Smooth play track, perfect for a late night cruise. I'm down. I am down. Been having a lot of fun kind of diving into Onwuka's earlier library and some of the stuff that they've released at the start of their career, right? So this will be very interesting. I'm down. Back of the Whip, a little late night track, man. I'm always down for a late night track for sure. Man, I remember a couple of these we reacted to. I'm pretty sure we did Dark Mage too, but and we definitely did the Grand Chieftain. But this will be track 6, Back of the Whip. All right, I'm down. We got a little bit of lyrics here too. All right, let's get into it. Onwuka, Back of the Whip. Let's go.
Sometimes it's the only spot that you got. So just wait for the drop. You can catch me in the back of the whip. I'm trying to mac on this chick and see if the ass is legit. Heating up with the track on my volcanic ashy spit. Let's spit that sip. To get my pocket screaming, I might have to dip. But tonight I'd like to have a sip. So you can see a ball of cake in the back of the whip. Maxed out to the tip with how I am lit. You can catch me in the back of the whip. I'm trying to mac on this chick when a straight snack and some tits. I play a wanna screaming louder than when Shannon is mad at Skip. Tonight I'm feeling better than alright. While the evening hours pass and drift. Now she's stuck on me like how a cactus stick. And it's all due to my dashing wits. Tell her to have a sit. Doesn't matter who's right, but we are in the back of it. A fella's charmed with how her fashion drips. She's hella armed with a brash sass and hips. Never known her, but it kinda feels like our souls of the past perhaps it did. If she wants to take a chance with the kid, I tell her she can take a grass on my tip. But if it's no good, you can be passing it if you want, but we could get passionate. Like fire in the souls, fire blows that stay rolling like tires go when you be a dashing quick. Beat hitting harder than when you playing Street Fighter. And the beat a mashing sticks. My verse occurs like a curse. Think that's blasphemous. I'll make it vanish just like a magic trick. It's a rapping striking with a rapid hits. Flow will hurt you like you kiking where the rapids live. Can you withstand the blast of the rip? Or when I'm spinning the rhymes out, I'm tripping your mind down. Like you on a massive a bad trip. But no time for that ish. You know where I'm trying to get. Yeah, to the back of the whip. You can catch me in the back of the whip. I'm trying to mac on this chick and see if the ass is legit. Heating up with the track on my volcanic ashy spit. Let's spit that To get my pocket screaming, I might have to dip. But tonight, I'd like to have a sip. So you can see a ball of cake in the back of the whip. Maxed out to the tip with how I am lit. Owner's gone from all the yak, I swear. And that is not the last on the list. Staying on like the flash of the mist. From the lid of signs that you pass on the strip. You know what we taller, so those fools look smaller than a Rick Moranis and Honey. I shrunk the kids, I tell her honey and what a young a stunner is. I play a can of carry, going in like Derrick Henry. You know I can run with this, but she can do that thing with the cherry. You know I'm talking about, son, with a tongue and a lip. Can do the same thing as me, man. What's that? Make it bust with a spit. So I love that the dance floor for show, you know. But how about we meet in the back of the whip? You can catch me in the back of the whip. I'm trying to make on this chick and see if the ass is legit. Heating up with the track of my volcanic ashy spit.
Okay.
Okay. I can screaming, I might have to dip, but tonight I'd like to have a sip. So you can see a ball of cake in the back of the whip, maxed out to the tip with how I am lit.
Wow. What a trip that was. That was a journey. That was a journey and a half for sure. One of my first tracks. I hope y'all dig. Yeah, nah, for sure. For sure. Just got a couple left from the Grand Chieftain. Yeah, we've definitely like cranked through a couple of those, huh? Wow. Wow. Yeah, no, well done. I see the vision here. I definitely see the vision here. All right. It does kind of have that late night vibe too, for sure. Let's talk about it. Let's break it down. Let's get into it. So, we're gonna talk about three things here. We're gonna talk about the instrumental, we're gonna talk about vocals, and we're gonna talk about the overall theme of Back of the Whip. So, instrumental. It does have that like late night kind of vibe to it, especially with like the melodies and just very interesting choice. But Onwuka definitely like does so well with instrumentals like this. It has this like fast paced trap, almost like pop kind of vibe to it a little bit as well. It's definitely blending a few sounds for sure. But I do like the instrumental choice a lot, 100%. Instrumental mix, especially for like something from 2020, right? I mean, you know, so early on in you know, it's one of those things where some artists have like tracks where, you know, you can tell that their sound is kind of like improved over the years. But even going back to this, like this really aged like wine. Like it really aged well, you know, like this could drop today and it'd still be just as solid as what Onwuka drops now, you know. So the quality has not only increased like with writing and whatnot from Onwuka, but you know, the quality has also stayed consistent from prior years, which is fucking sick. So instrumental mix, great, to be honest with you. I feel like the drums are a big player here. I do like the melody. I like the structure a lot. Yeah, but the overall mix though is like pretty on point, especially for something that's a little bit older as well. Nothing too clashy, too overbearing. Onwuka sounds really solid on it. Drums cut through nicely. Nothing I could like ultimately come to a gripe to, you know what I mean? Definitely nothing that I would change on this, especially for being a little bit older, you know, and it aged so well. So instrumental mix, very solid. Instrumental shining star. I kind of want to go with the melodies, but the drums are super prominent here. Let's go with the melodies just because it does bring like a nice late night vibe. So let's definitely go with the melodies for sure. But you could definitely argue the drums. You definitely could. Instrumental solid, definitely the melodies. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix. Again, even for something that's a bit older, Onwuka's vocals has stayed very consistent. And again, they have a really solid natural voice, right? And especially for their like style. You don't want to go too crazy with effects unless it like really calls for it, right? Or maybe Onwuka just wants to go for like a different vibe. But usually, you want to keep it very crispy, clean, clear. Levels are solid as well. Nothing that I would like really change on this either, especially again for being a bit older. I feel like it aged super fucking well. And the vocals sound great to me. And again, drums cut through nicely. The vocals definitely sit nice on the instrumental as well. And again, like I said, levels are solid. Nothing like super loud or super low either. Definitely hits that nice middle ground. So definitely right where they need to be, for sure. The vocal mix solid. Vocal shining star. I kind of want to say the hook. The writing's up there too. Like the writing in general is like super creative. But that hook is definitely catchy. And the hook kind of like lays out that like late night drive kind of vibe for me. Let's go Hook. Let's definitely go Hook for sure. But I mean, writing in general, you could really argue. The instrumental solid. Definitely the melodies, vocal solid. Definitely the hook. Let's talk theme, aesthetics. So, we've reacted to this cover a few times, but for the Grand Chieftain, again, this is such an OG like Onwuka kind of vibe. Again, like their cartoons and like their like animated self is always so on point. This one almost has like a Samurai Jack-esque kind of feel to it. But again, I love the background. Onwuka sitting in the throne in the middle. I mean, what more could you want, right? And then like even the hands are just like super detailed. And especially for something that's like, you know, one of their first releases, I've always been a fan of this aesthetic for sure. So this cover definitely rocks, especially for like a full length project. 100%. So aesthetic's definitely on point. Overall theme of Back to the Whip, I mean, pretty self-explanatory, right? Like a late night, late drive, kind of somewhat of like a flirty kind of like, not really romance track, but definitely a flirty kind of like late night, party kind of like hookup vibe, you know what I mean? So I feel like Onwuka definitely nailed it when it came to that, but the hook kind of like sealed the deal for me and totally like, you could totally picture yourself like driving on the highway like super dead, late night, you know what I mean? Like it's definitely one of those for sure. Stoke the Hick, yeah, for sure. Catch me in the back of the whip. Yeah, right. People seem to dig it, so I threw it in the song. Yeah, it's catchy, and it's like it always hits that nice middle ground of like it's so like you can visualize it in your head, but the way that you kind of write it out is always so unique, and I feel like that's why the like hooks like that always hit for sure. Definitely, it's very very interesting. But I could see why though. I could see why. But yeah, no. I feel like Onwuka did a really good job with this one, man. So well done, my friend. Well done. Huge shout out to the homie Onwuka. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Much love. Make sure you go follow them on Spotify. And of course, make sure you go follow Onwuka on Twitter. They are only 5 followers away from 720, so make sure you go show them some love on the bird at my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the episode. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you have not already. We're approaching 310 sub-roonies. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good jazz is over there on the channel, so make sure you go show these artists on the channel some love, baby. Let's get it. Thanks, my G. Got you, my friend. Thank you for your submission. Much love, homie, of course. Of course. Fucking get it, baby. Always a W submission from you. Let's see here. So, we left off the homie Onwuka. Up next is a first-time submitting artist by the name of Jacob Tell. Wow, songwriter. Okay, so a little bit of a mysterious bio here, but I'm down. I'm definitely down. Jacob Tell, one final thought of you. All right, so like I said, first-time submitting artist. Let's see what we got here from the homie Jacob. I am down, my friends. Well, let's see. Like Jacob's been grinding here. Loves a lonely town, hard to be human. Wow, okay. One final thought of you. LA-based singer-songwriter, new album, Hard to Be Human, chronicles the conflicts, anxieties, hardships of America's post-election. Dude, okay, Jacob, I see you. I see you. All right, let's get into it. I'm down. Well, let's see here. What did they submit? They submitted one final thought of you. Okay. First time submitting artist, Jacob Tell, one final thought of you. Let's go.
I can float to heaven. I can crash in hell. I can move to New York. I can buy a set. I can stay in LA. Hang nothing on my walls. Go out to karaoke. Drown in alcohol. So how can I explain all the things I do? How can I hold on to one final thought of you? I took you out to breakfast. I talked you through your vows. Those words were never phony. There were other sacred cows. I love you, dusty sunlight. I love you all alone. There's 1,000 obligations. I wish I could have known. So how can I explain all the things I do? How can I hold on to one final thought of you?
Writing solid.
I've been feeling kinda lonely. I've been feeling kinda sad. I've been feeling kinda aimless. Well, it ain't all that bad. So how can I explain all the things I do? How can I hold on to one final thought of you? One final thought of you. One final thought of you.
Well done. Well done. Wow. Definitely has that good, like, independent, like, folk, kind of like classic rock feel to it. Well done. Well done. Let's talk about it. Let's break it down. Let's get into it. So we're gonna talk about three things here. We're talking about the instrumental, we're talking about vocals, and we're talking about the overall theme of One Final Thought of You. So, instrumental, a very simple, bare bones instrumental. Couple melodies come in and out. Light melody for like the kind of main melody here, but the mix is solid, to be honest with you. I feel like vocals sound nice on it. Nothing super clashy, too overbearing. I didn't think the vocals were too loud or anything. I didn't think the instrumental was too loud. But yeah, I'm a big fan of the instrumental mix for sure. So instrumental mix solid. Instrumental shining star. Probably the structure. Definitely the structure. I like how there's a couple melodies that come in and out of this song. I'm gonna go with structure on this one for sure. Definitely, 100%. So instrumental solid, definitely structure. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix again, super solid. I didn't think it was too loud. Nothing super clashy to overbearing. Feels Delivery was solid. Nothing that I would like ultimately change on the vocal mix at all, to be honest with you. Again, everything's right where it needs to be for a track like this. Light effects. Nothing was like super loud or anything like that. Nothing was super low either. I felt like the levels were solid on this for sure. So vocal mix definitely solid. Vocal shining star, definitely the writing. I feel like it was very poetic writing, and the hook was super solid as well. But definitely the writing for sure. So instrumental solid, definitely structure. Vocal solid, definitely the writing. Let's talk theme, aesthetics. One final thought of you. A little bit of a simple IRL cover with the homie Jacob. So I feel like these are always a really good choice. If you don't really want to come up with anything too crazy for cover art, you can always use the IRL photos and spruce them up if you want or anything like that. But aesthetics definitely on point. Overall theme, one final thought of you. Kind of a little bit of a subliminal track for the homie Jacob, but again, it could strike a listener in kind of a few different ways. You know what I mean? But it does feel like a little bit of a love ballad mixed with like kind of overcoming a little bit of those feelings of like being in love, you know what I mean? So there's a couple of ways that you could really take a track like this, but definitely one that was written for Jacob for sure, and definitely from the heart, 100%. So well done, my friend, well done. Huge shout out to homie Jacob. So make sure you go follow Jacob on Spotify, and of course make sure you go follow Jacob on Twitter. They are only 8 followers away from 720, so make sure you go show Jacob some love on the Bird app. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you have not already. We're approaching 310 subscribers, so we upload 2 times per week, every Thursday and Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good jazz over there on the channel. Make sure you go show these artists in the channel some love, baby. Let's go. All right, my friends. Let's see here. So, up next we got, last but not least, a first-time submitting artist by the name of Ghost Town Music. Let's get it. Definitely don't know what to expect, but they submitted Be Great by Tarzan Figs and Spliff Out. Spliffed Out. Okay, shit. Let's see what we got here. All right, so we got Apple, Amazon, all the good jazz. Okay. All right, so let's open Spotify. Let's see what we got here. Again, first-time submitting artist. We have Tarzan Figs and Spliffed Out. Okay. This was submitted by Ghost Town Music. All right. I'm down. Well, let's get into it. Tarzan Figs, Spliffed Out, Be Great.
So won't you be great? Yeah. I just get that feeling that whenever you're around and survive, you're the night to my day, so won't you be great? Ooh, you keep shining bright on the moon, you're just a star in the sky. So won't you be great? So won't you be great? I wake up, brush my teeth, in the shower I go. Forgot my towel, play my favorite song, and this song won't hit the gym. I'm only thinking of food. I shoot the text in my booth, the group text asking what is the mood in this song. So let's go. I'm trying to swing by the mall. So what it do when I answer my call? Ooh, me and my girlfriend gotta catch a movie at 10. Just wanna chill and don't care what it is. I just get that feeling that whenever you're around and survive, you're the night to my day, so won't you be great? Ooh, you keep shining bright on the moon, you're just a star in the sky. So won't you be great? So won't you be great? We don't stop at all. Let's test the groove, see the party is on. We do the same dance, me and my clone. And I got on below. They ain't seen this before, but when the night get long, I'm on Snapchat just to recall. You the maestro, I'ma be the sand to the shore. You turn the lights low, best believe you're still gonna glow. I got the ice on just in case the flannel is warm, and we gon' vibe up, best believe the feeling is strong. I just get that feeling that whenever you're around and survive, you're the night to my day, so won't you be great? Ooh, you keep shining bright on the moon, you're just a star in the sky. So won't you be great? So won't you be great?
Just a good positive vibe here. Just a good, nice, positive vibe. Well done. Well done. Tarzan, Figs, and Spliffed out, man. Well done. Well done. Especially for some first time submitting artist, man. You never really know what to expect, but that was fantastic. Um well, let's see here. So let's break it down, let's talk about it, let's get into it. So we're gonna talk about three things here. We're gonna talk about the instrumental, we're gonna talk about vocals, and we're gonna talk about the overall theme of Be Great. So let's talk instrumental. I love the choice, especially for like a positive message like this. It has this good dance, almost house vibe, you know, a little bit of a like a lo-fi hip hop vibe as well. Just a very soft and very chill kind of vibe, you know, especially with the melody. I feel like the melody is like a big centerpiece here. Um, but I love the choice. Instrumental mix solid. Nothing super clashy, too overbearing. Nothing I would like ultimately change on this. I feel like vocals definitely sat nice. Drums cut through nicely. Sound selection was solid on the instrumental. Definitely really on point for where it's at. So definitely no gripes with the instrumental. Instrumental Shining Star. I'm gonna have to go with the melody. I feel like the melody is like a big deal with like the mood of this song. Drums are a close second, but let's go with the melody for sure. So instrumental solid, definitely the melody. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix, very solid, especially for a first time submitting artist. Like I said, I mean, you never really know what you're gonna get, especially with like the mix in general, right? But I feel like the vocal mix was very much on point here. Especially for a little bit more of like a melodic style track. I feel like that was great. So vocal mix very solid. Nothing super clashy, too overbearing. Nothing I would like ultimately change on that at all. So vocal mix very solid. Vocal Shining Star. Probably, I mean, you could say the writing in general, but I feel like the hook is very catchy, but also very relatable as well. You know, it's just feel good track in general, but I feel like the hook is the big centerpiece of that. So, I'm gonna go with the hook here for sure. So instrumental solid, definitely the melody, vocal solid, definitely the hook. Let's talk theme, aesthetics. So Be Great. I love it. Simple, straight to the point. Be Great in this kind of like graffiti font, Tarzan top right, and the prod credits. I mean, what's not to like? Nice, bright, comfortable kind of photo. You know what I mean? Again, you don't really want to go too crazy on cover art. You can always kind of spruce up an IRL photo, and they always come out just as solid. And you know, always like aesthetically pleasing. You know what I mean? So cover definitely on point. Aesthetics definitely on point. Overall theme, Be Great. Quite literally in the title, Be Great. A very positive, get out there and go kind of track, but it's not like corny positive. It's just like truth positive. You know what I mean? It's just like uplifting in mood, you know? So I feel like Tarzan and Lift really kind of achieve that here with this for sure, especially in the hook. But well done, my friends. Well done, my friends. Huge shout out to Tarzan and Spliffed Out. Make sure you go follow them on Spotify. And of course, make sure you go follow Ghost Town Music on Twitter. They are quite literally approaching 1.9K on the Bird app, my friends. So make sure you go show them some love over there on Twitter. Of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube upload. Of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you have not already. We're approaching 310 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a lot of good jazz over there on the channel. Make sure you go show these artists on the channel some love, baby. Let's get it. And if you already have, thank you. We appreciate you here at Music Mondays. Let's get it. And that does it, my friends. That is all of our submissions for episode 224 of the Music Mondays podcast. Let's close it out. Let's give some shout outs. Let's show some love. Let's talk about what's coming this week at Music Mondays, my friends. Let's go. So, first off, huge shout out to everybody that submitted and tuned in and showed love. I just want to give some shout outs to the chat first. Huge shout out to the homie Onwuka. Huge shout out to the homie Ghost. Huge shout out to the homie Laveries. And anybody else that came through and lurked and chilled, man. Thank you. You guys are fucking wonderful. Much love. Huge shout out to everybody that submitted and tuned in tonight and all of our Music Mondays Patrons. Huge shout out to the homie Jordan. Huge shout out to homie Laveries, King Mark, Ryuki, Kruger, and anybody else that subscribed to the Music Mondays Patreon, including TDG, and anybody that's even following the Music Mondays Patreon. Man, you guys are fucking wonderful. Thank you. Huge shout out to everybody else that did submit tonight. Huge shout out to Lucha Libro, Ghost, Thin, Braden, Kimon, Marco Pernice, Rough Cut Diamonds, Adriel, Oscar Mysterious, Jordan, Laveries, Onwuka, Jacob, and the homies over at Ghost Town Music. Much love, my friends. Thank you. Well, let's see here. And of course, if you'd like to submit for next week's episode of the Music Monday podcast, episode 225, submissions will be live tomorrow, May 6th. And if you're watching this anywhere else, submissions are already open, so make sure you go check the date and drop your links and portfolios below. Per usual, man. You can stream all the Music Mondays podcast episodes on anchor.fm/all Music Mondays. Pretty much all 220 plus episodes are over there on anchor.fm, and of course they're over there on YouTube as well. Make sure you go show the Music Mondays YouTube channel. Some love, man. And make sure you go stream us wherever you listen to your podcast, man. So, per usual, like I said, submissions will be live tomorrow. And, of course, make sure you follow Music Mondays on social media, at all Music Mondays, Twitter, Blue Sky, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Tumblr, Threads, wherever you're at, we're at. So make sure you follow us to stay up to date with all of our latest announcements. And, of course, we're planning our next summer event, so make sure, again, you're following us to stay up to date with pretty much everything that we got going on over here at Music Mondays. And per usual, I stream 5 to 6 days a week, my friends, quite literally. So make sure you come stop by the stream, come show the stream some love, and, of course, the home of the Music Mondays podcast, right? So per usual, make sure you follow Music Mondays, and make sure you follow me, subscribe below. Everything linked below, all the socials, all the good jazz linked down below. And again, huge shout out to everybody that came through and showed love tonight. A very, very chill show. I love you guys. Thank you so much. And per usual, I'll be live tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be live next week for episode 225 of the Music Mondays podcast. Stay tuned. Take care. I love you all. Be safe. Thank you so much. And we'll see you tomorrow and next week for episode 225. Let's get it, baby.